The Houthis have been causing havoc and mayhem on the Red Sea by basically shooting out cruise missiles, anti-ship missiles, drones, rockets, and basically sending out threats. The Houthis attacked an Indian tanker which was carrying jet fuel, right, on the 13th of December. They also attack a Norwegian tanker known as the Strinder, right, which was carrying chemicals and biofuel. And another Japanese tanker carrying commercial products was also attacked by the Houthis. In December 16, the US ship managed to shoot down about 14 drones which were sent by Houthis. A British ship also shot down a number of cruise missiles, rockets, and drones. And on the 10th of December, a military ship from France, right, managed to shoot down a number of drones. Now, because of this chaos and mayhem that is occurring in the Red Sea, right, the US decided to set up a coalition of nations, right, about 10 nations to come together, right, and basically create a safe environment in the Red Sea. Now, this operation is basically dubbed Operation Prosperity Guardian, right? Which is basically a number of countries, particularly Western countries, coming together to form a military naval force to fight against the Houthis, right? Now, the only country that is in the Middle East that is part of this coalition, right, is known as Bahrain. Now, the Houthis, right, after hearing that the States is formulating a coalition of nations to fight against it, released a political statement basically saying that we have capabilities to sink your fleet, your submarines, and your warships, right? The Red Sea will be your graveyard. Now, because of the chaos and mayhem, right, and a very dangerous situation that the Houthis have created along the Red Sea, right, through the attacking of commercial ships using drones, cruise missiles, right, and sending out rockets, right? Now, by them creating this dangerous situation, right, they have managed to somehow disrupt the global trade, right, in this area, right? Now, because of this chaos, a number of commercial companies are deciding to take another route towards the markets that they are sending their products to. Usually, right, the way global trade goes, right? Let's say you are taking products from Europe, right, to India, or products from India or China to Europe, right? The route that they will take, right, is if products are coming from Europe, right, they take the Mediterranean Sea, right, and then use the Suez Canal in Egypt, right, to get to the Red Sea, right? And then when they get to the Red Sea, they use Bab el Mandeb, right, a geostrategic choke point, right, between the country Djibouti and Yemen, right, to access the Sea of Aden, right, and then moves from the Sea of Aden, right, to the Indian Ocean. And then when they are in the Indian Ocean, then they can have access to the Pacific and the Far East, right? That is the usual route that trade takes. But because of this disruption being caused by the Houthis, now products need to move right down the length of Africa, right, around the Cape of Good Hope and then up to India or China, right? So it is known that by this, right, all commercial ships that are sending products to the east or the west, right, will have an added about 10 days to their trips, right? 10 to 14 days if you use the Cape of Good Hope, right? And the cost will increase with about 30 to 40%. So it means transporting goods from China to Europe or from Europe to China, right, will cost 30% to 40% more, right? And that is something that the West is finding very problematic, right? Now, if you have this problem, right, we know that Europe currently, right, is experiencing a winter, right? Now, if you have a disruption in the supply chain and trade routes, right, it means number one, the oil will increase in price. It will be difficult to access, right? Number two, you will need more fuel to move your products, right? 30 to 40% more fuel, right? And it will take more time to take your products to the other parts of the country. This is the serious disruption of global trade that the Houthis have achieved. Now, the reason why the Houthis are basically causing mayhem in the Red Sea, right? It is to show solidarity and support to the Palestinian cause, right? Number one, the ceasefire, which was rejected at the UN, right? And the number of casualties which had occurred in Gaza. I think now we are at a casualty number of about 21,000, the people that have died during the Gaza and Israeli war. Now, as a South African, we must look at this as an advantage, right? Because the reroute of global trade, not passing through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, it means that a number of countries and ships will pass around the Cape of Good Hope. We will get our levies. Some ships will dock here, and we will be part of the global trade. So the blocking of the Red Sea, right, is beneficial to South Africa because now the shipping trade routes are forced to go around the Cape of Good Hope, right? Now, another advantage is that all oil producers, all energy producers, be it Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, right, Iraq, right? All of the people producing energy are basically have an advantage because when there's a problem with the disruption of global trade, the first thing to be affected is the increase in oil prices or the increase in fuel prices, right? So this benefits oil producers. But ultimately, this does benefit BRICS countries, right? Saudi Arabia benefits from the increasing price of oil, right? South Africa benefits from a reroute of trade and shipping products, right? China benefits because there is a disruption of the Western powers, particularly in the Middle East. And Russia also benefits because Russia is a huge energy producer. When there's an increase in price in energy, Russia benefits.